When you first think of the healthcare field, the business aspect of how these institutions are run may not come to mind. It's no surprise that healthcare practices, both big and small, need money to keep the lights on. Funds are needed and have to be collected in order to pay for necessary supplies, employees, and other accumulated costs. Doctors spend so much time in their craft or other specialized areas that the less time spent worrying about finances, the better. The harsh reality here is that poor revenue cycle management practices cost healthcare providers around 15 to 20% of their revenue. If you decide to put managing your revenue cycle on the back burner, it doesn't go away. All that changes is your access to revenue that is already yours. So what can we do to combat this? Have no fear, revenue cycle management is here. There are things we can actively do to decrease that percentage. The revenue cycle process is what keeps hospitals, small practices, and larger healthcare systems financially healthy. The revenue cycle begins when a patient seeks out a doctor for a service and officially ends once that patient has completed all their payments toward the service received. Sounds simple, right? The revenue cycle is not always a straightforward process. There is a lot of back and forth amongst payers and providers. As stated in a previous video concerning handling denial claims, a denial occurs when an insurance company or other carrier denies a request for coverage on healthcare offerings or services for a patient from a professional. Issues with submitting requests for payments, receiving those claim denials, and working alongside patients that are not able to pay for services are all common occurrences that can happen within the revenue cycle. When you're dealing with hundreds of patients, this can be a lot to navigate through. You might not even know where to begin. The purpose of revenue cycle management aids you in creating a process that helps your healthcare organization receive the full amount of payment for services completed in the least amount of time as possible. This means more revenue for you, as well as time that is spent working in your practice rather than having to be put toward your administrative and clinical functions. With a healthy process, you are likely to see less coding errors, which will result in less claim denials. However, when those errors do happen, because it is inevitable that they will be completely erased, they are easier to point out and thus be fixed. We're all on the same team here. Your revenue cycle management practices benefit everyone involved within the transaction. This includes you, of course, but your patients as well. Everyone is kept in the loop and the back and forth inconveniences are decreased. It is possible to have a well-rounded revenue cycle process, and a big part of that is how you manage it or who you partner with. Partnering with a clearinghouse allows you to better analyze claims, engage with insurance carriers and patients, and leverage the technology associated with it. A bit of the weight is lifted off of your shoulders. If you'd like to learn more about revenue cycle management, reach out to eTactics. And you already made it this far into the video, so you might as well like it, share it, and comment below.